But then it led into what we alluded to before, some bad comedy. It was Mia Yim and Keith Lee mocking Gargano and LeRae's promo in their house that they did. And it wasn't very funny, which is really unfortunate. Keith Lee brought some flowers on the table, which were fake. And Mia Yim was like, oh, it's like the Garganos because they're fake. And then they mocked the effects they used by shining a torch in their face. And then Yim was saying that LeRae's a bitch or something. I don't know. It wasn't a good promo in and of itself as well. And then she was saying that Candice LeRae can't cook because she can only do takeaway. And then Tegan Nox comes in with a pizza that's almost all eaten. And then she puts it down on the table and says, I ate most of it. And then Keith Lee just goes, there's only one slice left. This isn't good enough. If it sounds bad, that's because it is. It wasn't funny, which is such a shame for especially someone like Keith Lee, who is so naturally charismatic and so naturally funny. He doesn't even have to say something funny to be funny because he's that charismatic. He can just say something in a way that makes it funny. And this just screamed of main roster scripting. This was just like it's a proper main roster segment, this. And it just jarred so much with what NXT does on a week-to-week basis.
I know. For me, when I talk about Drake Maverick being like a refreshing kind of babyface, this is the kind of babyface shtick that like I expect from WWE, making fun of their opponents with like, and I'm not saying like you can't cut jibes at your opponent. It's just like, oh, Johnny Gargano, I've got his new action figure. It's the only action figure that he makes, which is a 1-to-1 scale because Johnny's short. And it's like, oh, all right. Like, I want you to fight. Don't practice your tight five. I thought it was a shame. Like you said, it screamed of main roster. And between this and the Newly Bros show, don't want it. Don't want it in my NXT. Stop it. Yeah. And well, look, no one bats, 100. Keith Lee is amazing. Mia Yim's very good. The Garganos are great. I've no doubt that their takeover match is going to be fantastic. Just, less of this.
Just didn't need it. Just didn't need it. All you need to do is just say it's Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano, and I'm in. That's all you need. You don't need any of this.
Also, then it led into Tegan Nox just randomly appearing during.
I forgot about this.
It's so contrived, man. So because she was randomly in that segment, it led to her randomly being back here. And it's just like, so are we going to go with Tegan versus Candice? Is this the feud going forward? This is a weird way to get into this.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so convoluted because it was was it
Shotzi versus Raquel?
It was Shotzi versus Raquel. Sorry, I thought it was a tag match. There were so many bloody people involved. So it was Shotzi versus Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai was at ringside, and then at one point Dakota Kai hijacked Shotzi's tank, and then Tegan Nox came out and pushed Kai out. So I guess that feud's still carrying on, even though it's been finished 3 times already.
Well, not really, because then the match came back after the break, and Tegan was on one side of the ring, and Dakota Kai was on the other. So they weren't even like, oh, we can't keep our hands off each other, we got to fight. They were just like, oh, now I'm out here managing Shotzi Blackheart. It's like, what? And then it's just like, oh, Candice came out because Candice saw you doing the weird pizza angle before, and Candice was like, girl, we need to talk about how you do these backstage promos because you're making us all look bad. And then just before that, Shotzi Blackheart almost killed herself with a springboard coffin drop.
God, yes, she did.
Like, I actually like this match. I thought Shotzi is
totally.
She's cool character. She's got a tank. That's all you need. That's all the hook you need. Her and Raquel did a couple of fun things. Like, I didn't think the match was terrible. And then she just did a springboard Darby Allin to the outside. They didn't really either they didn't catch her or they caught her too low and she flipped over onto her neck. But that looked real bad.
She did not stay flat as she jumped out. It wasn't like a Darby Allin, you just jump out and you stay flat the whole time. She jumped out and started rotating. It's like, oh, that's just a recipe for disaster, that. So, she nearly landed straight on her neck, which was horrible. But yeah, and then it got into the convoluted side of the match. Candice LeRae came out, lots of people brawling. Candice LeRae was sent back to the back, but Tegan Nox wasn't. And then there was a distraction from Kai, and then Gonzalez won. And then Tegan Nox cleared the ring of Kai and Gonzalez afterwards to take care of Shotzi, even though there was 2 of them and 1 of them. Whatever. Sure. Yeah, it happened. It was a convoluted way to set up a feud. Hopefully it leads into a good feud, though. I'd be well into seeing Tegan Nox versus Candice LeRae. If that's what they want to do, I think it would be a great feud. Yeah. Hopefully it's just better content than this.
Yeah, it's just like NXT normally just builds in a different way. You know what this reminded me of? Didn't even remind me of main roster. This reminded me of WCW.
Oh, like I knew you were going to say it.
Someone being out there just like in a match they had no real part of, and then a random mention in a segment leading to someone else coming out, and they're like a double run-in, but neither of them was really a run-in. Then there was a distraction finish. Like too many cooks.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before as well in the last couple of weeks. Something like, when Swerve was cutting a promo backstage being like, oh, imagine if I lost every match in this tournament. And then that brought out Tony Nese in the match to attack him later on. We've seen it happen a few times recently. So I'm worried. I'm worried, Adam.
It's NXT still good. NXT is still good. There's there were like at least 3 really good matches on this show.
That's true.
Yes. Just like we've been burned in the past by terrible things happening in promotions that we used to like. So we're keeping an eye out. That's all we're doing.
Cautious.
That's all this is.